So I did my oral presentation on the COVID-19 differences in access to testing and treatment based on socioeconomic status. The first theory that I decided to use was conflict theory. Conflict theory, stated by the textbook in our class, Rogers, stated that conflict theory is an approach that views social behavior from the perspective of conflict or tension among two or more groups. The book listed some strengths to helpful with creating interventions that are community-based, allows social workers to understand clients' problems, and explains how power can cause inequalities for clients. Limitations include only used for the macro level, they aren't helpful in the other levels. The interventions are hard to follow through with and can also be hard to test constructs. Like I said, those were all listed in Rogers, page 106. Connection to the issue. Conflict theory can help understand the inequalities between individuals in lower and higher classes with COVID-19 because of the abundance of resources provided to higher classes of power. Conflict theory language. Conflict theory is helpful understanding the social justice issue of COVID-19 differences in access to testing and treatment based on power with socioeconomic status. It allows us to conceptualize the extent of the problems a group is facing. Specifically, we can understand that the lack of resources for lower class individuals to receive COVID-19 treatment and testing is dangerous. These individuals may not have access to transportation, so they are unable to get tested and they go throughout their normal day. When this occurs, they spread it to their family members or anyone they come in contact with that day, and that cycle will just continue. Another scenario could be that they are unable to take 2 weeks off of work for quarantine. That could be like a job issue. The problems listed above and the abundance of others concerning the pandemic is something that higher class individuals do not have to deal with because they have these resources. Like they have the resources to testing and treatment to help eliminate this issue. Therefore, they're not affected like the lower classes. The second theory that I decided to use is critical practice theory. As I was learning this theory, I realized that the conflict theory and this theory are very similar. Again, Rogers on page 114 states that the critical practice theory views social problems as caused by oppressive societal structures and the cultural and moral assumptions generated and maintained by dominant groups. The strengths for this theory is it helps oppressed clients overcome social limits and creates social change. Social workers can help change systems that keep clients powerless. Limitations include social workers contribute to oppressive nature because the power and influence over a client's life does not help with biological factors, bound by police and laws, and tends to not focus on large-scale social change and shares the weakness of conflict theory. Or it shares all the weaknesses of conflict theory because they're very similar. The connection to the issue, once again, the oppressed individuals in lower class do not have the same resources as wealthier individuals. They lack testing sites for COVID-19 and nothing is being done about it as death numbers increase for these groups. Critical practice theory language includes 3 words listed in the textbook. Praxis is the first one, which is experiences of injustice that clients have gone through to understand society and create change. To connect that to the issue, or my personal issue with it, when social workers hear more examples of praxis from oppressed groups, it helps them understand where change needs to happen. Hearing about how oppressed individuals are dealing with COVID-19 and the death rates concerning these groups show that this issue needs social workers to advocate for them to eliminate this issue. The second word was conscientization, which means raising awareness of oppressive tendencies in society. When conscientization of social workers increase, they understand where they need to create social change and can plan according with intervention. Educating social workers in this area increases their awareness and influence them to start advocating. The third and final word that the textbook listed concerning this theory is dialogic practice. This is the exchange of views with equal relationships to clients. It is important to eliminate oppression because it creates an equal relationship. This kind of eliminates the oppressive tendencies that this theory says that social workers contribute to. Understanding that these individuals have been through a lot, so talking to them as actual human beings is important. They may have experienced serious losses, so tones and dialogue is crucial. So it's just important to keep that mindful of what you're saying to these people. How conflict theory agrees and disagrees with critical practice theory. They both agree that there is oppression between groups in society. Both include that theories allow individuals understand oppressed individuals' social injustice issue. They both have the same limitations. And disagrees, critical practice theory includes how societal structures impact oppression than conflict theory, and critical practice theory includes how social workers can add to the oppression with the nature of social work and client relationships. And this is my reference, which is the textbook.